Hey, this is Teacher Katrina and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we want to discuss what you need to teach online, the equipment, the technical requirements, and other teacher supplies you may want to think about. If you're interested in teaching online or starting your online teaching business, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell icon so you don't miss out on anything. Let's get straight into the video. Let's talk about what you need to teach online. So I prepared some slides. It's always helpful to stay on topic. Basic components you need to teach online. First, a laptop, computer, or tablet. Now, some teachers use a tablet. Some platforms may require you to use a tablet. For me, I always prefer using a laptop or a computer. Bigger screen, it's easier to manage, you have your mouse. So even with a laptop, I highly recommend getting a mouse because you're going to be writing on the screen and stuff, and it can be very hard just using your touchpad. So I recommend getting a mouse, wired or wireless. For the laptop, probably your own laptop that you have at home will do the trick. I found that buying a new laptop, a faster laptop, worked in my favor, but mine is only 8 gigabytes of RAM memory. So really it's not that fast. I bought it 2 years ago. And what else? I guess you could get at least an i5 core processor, and if you're Windows or Mac, it doesn't matter. Mine is an Asus ZenBook, so I'll just show you one here on Amazon. They're really good and they're really small, like they fit in your bag like a MacBook, but without the big price tag. And that's what I've been using for 2 years. Not this specific one, this is like an upgraded version, like this is Core i7. You might as well get, the newer one. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that one out. Other ones you could check out are MacBooks. They're always great choice, and I'll make a video with more options for laptops, and I'll research this further to find out for you, but I think this one would be a good choice. The next piece of equipment you need is a headset with a microphone. A headset with a microphone is vital. Noise cancelling is better because if there's any sounds in your house or if you let anything fall, it's not like the other students are going to hear it so clearly. Whereas if you don't have noise cancelling, they can hear every little thing. I use these ones. They're Battle Bud headset or earphones, and they're great. I like them because they're light, they don't annoy my ears, I can wear them for long periods of time. But a lot of companies might not necessarily accept these, so I can't fully recommend them, even though I love them and they will always be a part of my teaching equipment. That's not to say that you might need a headset for certain companies. They might not approve of this. They might want you to wear the actual headset. What I recommend is getting a headset and always having, so if you decide to get these, always have like a headset as well. And I'm about to purchase one too. So this is the one I've been looking at. It's Amazon's choice, recommended. Other teachers have recommended it in the past, so I know it's good. And it's, as you can see, it's quite a nice one, the Logitech one, and it's very cheap as well. So it doesn't seem like a bad choice. You can also get it with a webcam, and I don't know how good it is or the keyboard, but I would probably just get the headset by itself. That's all I really need right now. But yeah, you plug it in, it's a USB connection. Some companies require that as well. Why they might not approve this is because of this type of connection. I don't know why. Just some companies have their own rules, and then they don't like this. They prefer like the USB one. And not all accept wireless either. So some teachers actually wear AirPods and they get away with that. So it just depends, but you can definitely do that as well. A lot of companies like you to have a wired connection rather than wireless, just because it might be less, stable or something. Always, your safest option is always to go for the headset anyway, but if you have the other things in your house, you might want to use them. But yeah, having the headset with the USB connection is probably the best route to go. The next thing I recommend is a webcam. Now you could have a laptop, a good laptop, but the webcam might not necessarily be the best quality. So 720p is not great quality, and you're better off investing in a HD 1080p, and when you get that, the quality is so much better. The students can see you so much better. It's like you were present with them. It's just very good quality, and that's what you really need. So the webcam that I recommend, that I found online, because I have my own webcam, it's more expensive than this. I've just found this deal and I think it seems like a really good one. It has high rating. I'll leave a link in the description for all of these different items that I'm recommending, but this one seems like a good one, and it has that cover as well, so when you're not using your webcam, all you have to do is put it on your laptop and plug it in and you're good to go. There's the USB one, and really good reviews, and something like this you can have a look around yourself, but this is one I found that I just thought looked great for a really low price. Another thing that you need to teach online, I say need, but usually it's required. Not everyone gets one. It's a TEFL. And honestly, there's not a lot of companies that will accept you without a TEFL. It's competitive enough in the space, and for you to be competing with others without a TEFL, it can be a bit hard to do. So I recommend getting a TEFL. I'll leave a link again in the description for the TEFL certificates I recommend. Basically, the TEFL Academy is the one that I did, and I really liked it. If you want to travel abroad, it's a great option as well. It's internationally recognized and a level 5 course. So really good TEFL course. The other thing you want to think about is your lighting. The lighting is important because it's part of your class presentation of you. Your student needs to be able to see you at all times, and having lighting is an inviting way of getting students to partake and enjoy your classes. So they want to see a well-lit room, and I don't have this problem because I live in Ireland, and the lighting here, it's always bright when I go to teach classes. But on the other hand, US and Canadian teachers, they often teach in the middle of the night or really early hours of the morning, and that can be really difficult without proper lighting. Your lighting up there, it just doesn't work because the shadows that it creates, it just doesn't look professional, and there's not enough light obviously from the window. So what you can do is you can purchase special lighting for your online teaching. I have a big ring light that I use, and I only use it because the lighting situation here is not like, I don't really need to purchase much lighting, but I have one ring light and I've used it when it was dark, in the winter, and it didn't really work. The reason why is because I only had one, and it wasn't creating a balance of light. It was just focusing on one area, and I didn't think it was great. So you need to buy two of those large ring lights. Another thing I saw online that I think looks really good is the soft box, and I've seen this recommended before. And this is professional lighting, so you're really getting, this is what I should have for a YouTube video. So you're really getting, the correct lighting, and as you can see, you're getting much more lighting. It's really big, and you're creating a well-lit classroom. So I would recommend the softbox. You might get away with one, but you might have to get two, depending on your situation. I'm not sure, but you could try it out anyway and see how you get on. So you've got this 2 softboxes you can buy there. That's actually pretty cheap compared to the single. Single is 45, 2 soft boxes is 68, so that's really good. So you can put them on either side and you can get the balance of light, and great if you want to take photos. And you also get a tripod with it as well, which, when you have to buy them separately, they can be expensive. That's the lighting kit. Feel free to have a look around for other lighting options. I have other videos to make, and I'll leave a link in the description when I make some more videos directly about lighting, headsets, best laptops that you can use. Just have to research that a little bit more and leave that for another video. The other things you have to think about when teaching online is your technical requirements. And a lot of people go into this and they think, I can teach online, my internet is good enough, and it turns out it's just not. It's just not good enough. And I hear particularly problems from South Africa with internet connection problems. And it doesn't affect all of South Africa, but I know that there's certain areas of South Africa that have worse, or they have more difficulties. It can be big problem, because if you don't have a stable internet connection, it's hard to pass the stringent requirements with online teaching companies. For some companies, it's like 2 megabits per second upload and 2 megabits per second download, whereas for other companies, it could be 20 Mbps download and 5 Mbps upload. It's hard to say all those, but yeah, like I'm just saying, it can be very different for every company. And Zoom itself doesn't require like high internet speeds. Some platforms themselves though require it because they're really interactive, or you have lots of students. And how you can make your internet connection more stable is with an Ethernet cable. And a lot of companies, most every company really recommends an Ethernet cable. You connect your Ethernet cable from your router to your laptop. And not all laptops allow you to connect the Ethernet cable. They just have a USB port, but they don't have an Ethernet cable port. So I recommend an Ethernet cable adapter to fit in, so that will allow you to fit your Ethernet cable into your laptop. And I'll leave a link to an Ethernet cable adapter in the description also. The teaching supplies, here are some essentials. Minus the stickers, you don't actually need those. I just added them for fun. So the first thing you need is a whiteboard. And yes, you do need the whiteboard. This will make your life 100 times easier. The eraser. Yeah, you can get these whiteboards on Amazon. This one is really good. Like, I've had it for a few years and not a scratch on it, you know, it's rubbing everything out perfect. It's not like, it's good quality in my opinion. It's just some whiteboards, you know, they leave a stain, but this one just doesn't. And I can leave a link in the description for this one. And you need markers as well. I bought a bundle of colors. I've had them for so many years. They do last a long time, I think, depending on how heavy you use them. But yeah, this is the whiteboard, and there's so many things you can do with a whiteboard, and a teacher just needs a whiteboard. I know you have the digital whiteboard as well, but it's always nice to have this too. I don't use this too often, but if I don't want them to write on the screen or whatever, and I want to be in control, you know, I'll write it on this, and it's great. You know, you can play games, you can write words that they're having trouble pronouncing, letters, everything, you know. You could do a drawing of something and have them guess what it is. You know, there's lots of things you can do. Then the next thing is a map. A map is a good idea. Now, while I don't have a map here, it's a nice background idea. I keep my background extremely simple with just my name, but that's because I teach adults as well, and I don't want to have a cluttered kid-like background. So you can have a background with a map. Map is always so easy, such an easy design, and for a lot of companies, they like you to have a nice, clean, quiet classroom and a nice, it doesn't, like some companies want you to have a decorated kind of background so that you know, kids love it. But if you're teaching kids, you know, it's nice to have the maps and the, you know, cartoons or whatever you want. So a map is always a really good idea, and you can get tapestries that literally cover your background. So you don't have to worry about, you know, what's in your background. You don't have to add a lot of things to your background. Or you could just get a map that is a poster and then stick that up. So it depends on your needs. Maybe the tapestry won't work where you're sitting, or maybe it would, but yeah, a tapestry or a map poster is always a solid choice for teaching, because then you can show the kids, you know, you often ask them where they live, or you talk about where you live, and then you can point on the map. I use a thing called Manicam, and I have, you know, my flag and everything on that, so I actually don't use props as much. The next thing I recommend is a flag. Flag is a great way of showing where you're from. It can be a nice way to decorate a background as well. I guess this is not essential either, but it's a way of showing, you know, little kids where you're from. And everyone recognizes flags. They're universal symbols. I suppose if you're from the US, they'll definitely recognize that flag. The other thing I think you need is a stuffed animal, and even better, a puppet, because the puppet can talk and you can model. So if the student can't say an answer back, or they're repeating your question, you can take out the puppet and you can ask the puppet the question, and the puppet responds with the answer. And then you go to the student and you ask the student the question, and the student responds with the correct answer. So that's how you can use a puppet. That's for very small kids. Yeah, and a stuffed animal is also nice because it makes them feel safe and comfortable with the teacher, and they really like that, and they'll probably take out their own teddy bear or whatever they have, and then just you could be getting yourself in some bother, but just once you can like stop them, you can make them feel comfortable. It's a great tool to have as well. Stickers, I was just thinking, like, for rewards, it's quite an easy reward. You can buy like 200 stickers really cheap on Amazon or somewhere, and you can just stick them on your face, or you could stick like every time they do a good job, they think that's hilarious if you stick it on your face. Or if you have regular students, you could prepare like prepare like a piece of paper with their name on it, and then stick a sticker on it every time they do a good job, and like, they come back for more stickers the next class, and you put in more stickers. That's another way of keeping them entertained as well. Again, not essential, but it's an option, right? And then storage bins. So storage bins, where you can put all the stuff that you use in the class. You'll find that the more you teach, the more you start to acquire. I'm a minimalist and I still have stuff. Okay, so you do start to acquire because you start finding things that will work for a class, and then you just leave it there on your desk. But rather than leaving it on your desk, why not buy a storage bin to have a place to put it, right? So here's what I have found. Actually, this is what I use myself: an organizer, file folder. Not this specific one, but the same type of thing, where I guess you have, if you have a lot of paper 2D props, it's a place where you can store them and sort them by category. The other type of storage container you could use is this one. This is a storage cube, and really, look, see those, they work really well as well if you have like lots of cuddlies and toys, for the classes. These are great. So again, I'll leave a link in the description for everything I talk about. Next, I want to talk about is your website. Now, this is for the teacher entrepreneurs out there who want to start their online teaching business and start a website. This is actually not impossible to do. Believe me, I started with almost zero knowledge and I started my website. It's possible. And what you need to get a website is some hosting and a domain name. So the hosting you can get is Bluehost. They're really cheap. It's something like $3 something a month, which is really cheap. That's where you can have WordPress, and you can build your site fairly easily with a page builder. So you don't need any expert coding or anything like that. You can do it yourself, and the support team will help you out. The other thing you need is a domain name. That's the www. And you can get that on GoDaddy or Namecheap. There's a few different places you can get this, and it costs about $14.99, I think, per year typically. You could get it a little bit cheaper than that, but yeah, you can get a domain name. So you just type in your name and it'll come up with if it's taken or not, and then you can buy the domain name and connect it to your hosting and have a fully functional website within 2 weeks. Even working on other projects, you can still get a fully functional website going and get paying students. It's definitely a way for you to be in more control of your teaching schedule and how much you earn. Lastly, I want to recommend Payoneer and Transferwise for getting paid. So Transferwise is my number one method because the exchange rates are the best. I've used it for years now. The fees are so low and it's so transparent, and that's what I like about it. Actually, that's wrong. It's now called Wise, so I'll change that. But yes, I'll leave a link where you can sign up to Wise, or Payoneer is the other one. So if Wise, is not available for you, then Payoneer is a good option because it's the next best in my opinion. So Payoneer, the rates I don't think are as good for receiving money, but at the same time they're really low. And I just realized I made a mistake. Oh. The other one is PayPal. So PayPal, I don't really recommend PayPal. It's okay for buying things online, but they're rates are bad. So yeah, I don't really recommend PayPal, but as a last resort, you can use PayPal. A lot of people trust PayPal, that's the pro. So, but the fees are high. So yeah, I recommend Wise as a first choice. And you can also, if you have like a website, you can link it to Stripe and take payments from that, and Stripe can connect to Alipay if you want to get payments from China, and it can take payments from credit cards and debit cards from all over the place. So yeah, that's how you accept pay. And the reason I don't recommend your bank account unless you are a US citizen, because they're usually paying in US dollars anyway, so then you can just go for a bank transfer. But for the rest of us who don't use US dollars on a regular basis, it's going to come in with a lot of exchange fees and ugly rates that you want to avoid. Banks are the worst for it, so I recommend Wise or Payoneer. That's all for this video about teaching online and the equipment you need to get started. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about teaching online or starting your online teaching business, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I will be posting again soon. All of the teaching equipment that I recommend today is in the description. And thank you very much for listening. Hope you have a splendid day and see you in the next one.